Hi everyone, Mark here on Creating a Digital Life. So today's video, I wanted to dedicate to why working in a 9-to-5 job is actually very inefficient and why you actually do not get paid the amount of money you're spending at work. And on the contrary, why you should be working for yourself or less for that matter, just to be more creative and also more productive as a matter of fact. I'm going to be pulling up an article that illustrates this perfectly and shows why working within 9 to 5 actually diminishes the efficiency that more than you think, and why switching to a different regime can actually benefit you in the long run. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So going into detail with this article that is talking about, here's the secret reason why companies make you work from 9 to 5, and not for the obvious reasons that you think, by the way. If you start reading, you will see that in today's age, the 9 to 5 workday is quickly becoming obsolete, largely thanks to technology. The ability to work from anywhere has its downsides, most notably the rise of workation, which is essentially staying actually longer in work but taking longer pauses and being more effective. But the major upside is that enables you get the job done without being shacked to the fluorescently lit cubicle. Now, if we go a bit further down, you will actually see that if we go down to many people know what the 9 to 5 workday was actually introduced by the Ford Motor Company back in the 1920s and became standardized by the Fair Labor Standards Act in 1938 as a way of trying to curb the exploitation of factory workers. But not many people know the history behind why we act like it's logical to pay people based on the amount of time they spend in the office as opposed to the actual amount of work they produce. Let me just quickly jump in here and say that this is actually a very good example showing that the system that we are working in and the way the structure of the society has been built from this 9 to 5 kind of structure is actually so outdated. It has been established 100 years ago. So why not to change this then? Why not to go to a more effective way of working, using your energy more wisely and not necessarily draining your energy in meetings, in commute, and all those things, just to focus on what matters the most. If we go a bit down further, we can actually see that law firms quickly began to realize that they would make a lot more money by making their employees work longer hours. In 1958, lawyers were expected to work around 1,300 hours a year, which only translated to about 27 hours per week. Today, many of the quotas are as high as 2,200 hours a year, which translates to about 45 hours a week. Now, the next section that I highlighted, it actually shows that the problem, of course, is that in the salaried positions, you're actually not paid for the amount of time you spend working. So employees feel pressured to stay late just to show their bosses that they are committed to their jobs. So that just shows that because of the peer pressure and also because of the corporate structure and the expectations that are set up, people are inclined to stay at work longer, even if it means that they have already finished with their jobs, done working, and would rather be at home, to be fair, but they would just stay there to receive the salary that they need to. And in my opinion, that's actually a very stupid thing to do, because if you are able to get the job done within, let's say, 5 to 6 hours, why should you be spending an extra 3 hours just to fulfill the needs of the management? If you can actually do that on your own by working for yourself and creating a digital life that enables you to spend more time on what you want to and be more effective with your energy and also with your time, then I think this is one of the red flags and one of these signs that you should be considering. And bear in mind, this article was actually written in 2018, 3 years ago, way before the pandemic actually hit. There's a lot of New Yorkers out there that don't know when their workday begins or when their workday actually ends, because we're all so tied to our phones. And you can still work, you can still talk to your boss, but this is just saying that when you feel like you have hit your boiling point and you can't do it anymore, you're able to disconnect and decompress for a while. So this is from Rafael Espiana, the Brooklyn Council member who introduced the bill of working less and being more effective. And not only that, we are talking about the additional countries like Sweden and New Zealand, who talk about decreasing the amount of work and the amount of time spent at work from 40 to, let's say, 32. And what this does is actually enables them to create a more committed culture. People would actually be willing to do more if they can work for less time. And so it says in the last paragraphs, in July, New Zealand firm tried reducing the work week of their employees from 40 hours to 32 a week and found that the new schedule made their employees more productive and motivated. Supervisors said staff were more creative, their attendance was better, they were on time, and they didn't leave early or take long breaks. Now, Sweden has also been experimenting with implementing shorter work days with great results. And the recent study found that while 40% of American adults work 50 hours or more a week, they generally only spend about 3 hours a day doing actual work, leading researchers to conclude that cutting hours could improve productivity in the US as long as companies can give up the 8-hour mentality. And I think that's the final statement there, because if you're only working for 3 hours effectively and doing your job in that sense, then why should you be spending 5 to 6 hours in addition to that just to show the company that you are there and you're a team player, whereas you're literally wasting your time and energy at a place that you shouldn't be. So there you have it. Like, working within 9-to-5 jobs actually quite the opposite of what people believe, as in not being more productive, but actually being less productive. So what you need to realize is that if you want to be truly efficient and productive with your own time, then you have to start creating your own workspace. Because truth to be told, even if countries are experimenting with this and companies are realizing that this is where we are supposed to be going, it's not necessarily written and guaranteed that this is where society will be trending necessarily. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, then I would highly recommend starting your own digital life. If you want to find out how, check out the link to my website down below, where I will show you and I can introduce you to this kind of lifestyle. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content. And as always, if you have any comments or insights, feel free to share them. I'm happy to read and listen. Until the next video, I hope you have a nice day and take care.